Hey everyone, a few weeks ago I got a toy haul consisting of a random mix of Marvel Legends figures, and this is one of them. This Juggernaut figure is from the early Hasbro era, and this series is simply called Spider-Man Series. It's not like the Spider-Man Origins or the Spider-Man Classics. You know, we can kind of clearly define them and we know which series that comes from. But this one is really kind of like, yeah, there isn't any special title to it. This is the back of it, and you can see the characters that is in this series. In fact, all of them are from the Spider-Man Classics except for the Juggernaut, which I think is a new one in this early Hasbro series. This is the superposable Spidey. This is a scuba diving Spidey, I think. Repaint of the Spider-Man Unlimited figure. Repaint of Venom. And also repaint of Carnage. So out of these 6 pictures, Juggernaut is the only one that is kind of on a new body mold. This is the bottom of the packaging, and gone are the days that we have this sort of character bio. Nowadays, we only have that one sentence and they repeat it in different languages. The clamshell of this series is kind of weird because it's really small. You can see Juggernaut's leg kind of folded up inside. The cutback and the clamshell is definitely smaller than the more recent retrowave figures. And I don't know whether they are trying to save up on plastic or something, because for the normal Marvel Legends series back around the same era, we have this kind of packaging which definitely uses much more plastic. One thing about the early Hasbro era is that they like to use rubber bands to hold the figure in the clamshell. So over time, these rubber bands really flake off. This happens also for the Marvel Universe 3.75-inch series. All the rubber bands flaking off, and it's really quite bad because you can see all of it over here, all crumbling to pieces and getting stuck to the figure. And it really is stuck because I got a variant of the figure and there are rubber band bits at the waist swivel area over here, in between the torso and the crotch area. Look at that. And at the ankle as well. Now let's get this out of the packaging. Alright, get ready for all the flaky rubber band. Yep, here he is in kind of a, I don't know, ballerina pose. I don't even understand why they always put all these rubber bands, because the figure doesn't really get out of the clamshell. And here he is. And just like I mentioned earlier, all the rubber bands are kind of stuck all around the joints, and okay, there's lesser on the waist over here, but yeah, let me just get rid of all these flaking rubber bands. So I managed to get rid most of the rubber band flakes by using this soft bristle toothbrush and just rubbing it off, and also wipe down the figure because it's kind of sticky and you can see the kind of brownish stain that it leaves behind on the wet tissue. And here is the variant of the figure from the same toy haul that I got, and the difference is that the color of the torso area, this is yellow or kind of mustard, and this one is kind of chrome red. It is kind of shiny actually. The boots are also different in color. The variant is a maroon, matching the color of the torso over here, but the other one is brown. There is also a difference in skin color. I'm not sure whether this is discoloration from the many years. It has been 12 years in the packaging, so yeah. But then again, this is out of the packaging and the skin tone I think looks fine. So yeah, this is kind of slightly yellowish compared to the other variant. And here is the figure with the helmet off, and the head sculpt is exactly the same. Just a slight variation in the paintwork. I actually kind of like this angry face, angry expression of his. The helmet itself has this kind of square block inside to keep it in place when we place it on. So yeah. There was someone who asked on my Instagram account to see if the helmet fits on the new Hasbro Colossus figure, and here is the result, and the helmet actually kind of fits. Maybe he has something in mind to do the unstoppable Colossus or something, when Colossus actually had the power of the Juggernaut for a short period of time in the comics. The articulation of the figures in this Spider-Man series is really a hit and miss, because for some of them, it's really a repaint of the Spider-Man classics, and you know that this is the super posable Spider-Man, and this Carnage is actually quite posable. But some of them have gimmicks, like this Venom, you know, they have the jaw chomping action, and there's a button at the back, which makes the figure having no head articulation. And also this one has the arm web shooting gimmick. And when it comes to this Juggernaut, the articulation really isn't just as great as how a Marvel Legends should be. He does have the normal joints, which is the head joints. He can go left and right. He can't really look up and down. Oh, he can actually. But with the mask on, all that doesn't matter. He can only look in front. The arms does swivel around, goes up. It's missing the bicep swivel. The elbow, however, does have the swivel joint together with the hinge joint. The hinge joint has very limited articulation. That's it. The wrist only has swivel joint, doesn't have a hinge joint to go up and down. Waist swivel, standard. Ab crunch with minimal movement. He has the standard old Toy Biz type of ball hip joint, which does allow a good range of articulation, but I think I definitely prefer how the new one looks like. This is kind of slightly unsightly to me. Doesn't really look that nice to have a ball at the crotch area over here. I mean, since in the Infinite series, Hasbro has gotten rid of that. No more ball hip joints. And double hinge knee joint. This is also something which is different, having a ball ankle joint. Yeah. And hinge up and down. Actually, after going through the articulation, it really isn't that bad, except for the arms. Here is the Juggernaut from Toy Biz, and here's Juggernaut from the 80th anniversary 2-pack. You can see how undersized this Juggernaut is. He kind of reminds me of the Fox X-Men movie Juggernaut.
I'm the Juggernaut!
Thanks for watching. Do hit it in the comments below. How many of you actually have this figure back then, or still have this now? I really don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Maybe I'll just sell it away or something, or just keep it aside. Lol. And stay tuned for more Marvel Legends comparison and unboxing videos.